Good evening and a very warm welcome to the 64th Annual General Meeting for the Federated Women's Institutes of Canada, FWIC Canada. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Lynn McLean. It is certainly my privilege to be the president of FWIC and the chairperson for this meeting tonight. We are so delighted that so many of you have from coast to coast have wanted to join us for our annual general meeting. The meeting is expected to be approximately 2 hours, so we would request that you please put yourself on mute and sit back, and we will begin our meeting. And we will begin with Donna Henderson, who is the board director from Alberta, to read the land acknowledgement. So you can advance that slide, Christine, please. Go. Donna?
Before we begin this evening's program, we would like to acknowledge the Indigenous peoples of all the lands that we are on today. While we meet tonight on virtual platform, we would like to take a moment to acknowledge the importance of the lands and to give gratitude for the sharing of these lands, which we each call home. We do this to reaffirm our commitment and responsibility in improving relationships between nations and to improving our own understanding of local Indigenous peoples and their culture. From coast to coast to coast, we acknowledge the ancestral and unceded territory of all the Inuit, Métis, and First Nations peoples that call this land home.
Thank you very much, Donna. We will now move along the parade of flags, and we will now play O Canada. I would like to take this time and introduce to you the FWIC Board of Directors and our provincial presidents. I know it's really hard for you to see them all, but maybe I could get them to wave frantically so you might be able to see them. We have about 87 people on the screen tonight, so it may be a little hard for you to see some of them. But I'm proud to introduce to you Brenda DeVoe from BC, Donna Henderson representing Alberta, Deborah Barrett from Manitoba, Linda Zellum from Ontario, Linda James from Quebec, Marion Green from New Brunswick, Jacqueline Melvin from Nova Scotia, Miriam Lank from PEI, Elizabeth Moss from Newfoundland, Angela Scott is our president-elect, and of course, we cannot forget our treasurer, Linda Mason. So that's our board of your directors. So for provincial presidents, we have from BC, Shelley Simrose, and from Alberta, Linda Tays, and from Manitoba, Deborah Barrett. We have from Ontario, Cheryl Sullivan, from Quebec, Linda James, New Brunswick, we have brand new minted Nadine Keenan. From Women's Institute of Nova Scotia, we have Margie Taylor. Newly minted from Prince Edward Island President Carolyn McFadgen, and Newfoundland Elizabeth Moss. So those are your directors. and your provincial presidents. So we are very grateful for the work that all of those women do. And I have somebody else coming in here. Okay. So for official greetings tonight, I would love to welcome our ACWW Canada Area President, Marie Kenny, and give her a chance to say a few words in a word of welcome to us. Marie.
Thank you so much. FWIC Canada Area President Lynn McLean, distinguished guests, ACWW Society members and friends. Hello, everyone from sunny PEI. It's a beautiful evening here after a very kind of cold and chilly day. On behalf of the Associated Country Women of the World Canada Area, it is truly an honor to bring greetings to you this evening at the 64th annual meeting of FWIC Canada. As we meet on this evening on this virtual platform, it is very inspiring for me to see so many faces. It speaks to the strength and the unity of this remarkable organization. WI Canada is built on a strong and proud legacy of empowering women, strengthening communities, and preserving rural values. Since your founding in 1919, when the representatives from the provincial institutes met in Winnipeg, Manitoba, to form the Federated Women's Institutes of Canada, you have stood as shining examples of what happens when women come together to learn, to share, and to grow and to lead. Annual meetings are a time of evaluating and empowering. They're an opportunity to reflect on work accomplished and to vision for the future. Your theme for this term, Together We Rise for Home and Country, sets a platform for lively, engaging, and inspiring conversation. And your project, Sustainable Fashion, gives opportunity for both personal reflection and collective action. I know certainly it has encouraged me to rethink my purchasing power. FWIC has a rich history of tremendous work to enhance the lives of women, rural women, locally, nationally, and globally. Your commitment to educating women, expanding skills, broadening interests, and strengthening the quality of life for yourselves, your families, and your communities is truly inspiring. You remind us that when women unite with purpose, they not only lift each other up, but they transform the world around them.
There's the president.
Through membership and leadership, you have profoundly enriched
Louder,
rural society
She's
from
very
coast to coast to coast by fostering community cohesiveness and enhancing the quality of life. FWIC is a Category 1 society of ACWW, and sharing knowledge and applying best practices, best learning practices is truly the strength of ACWW. As a global organization, we have a tremendous legacy, but we also have a huge responsibility of women helping and supporting women. And we do this best when we work together. Through your collective voice, you have become champions of supporting and encouraging and embracing with courage and grace challenges. Your resilience is a role model for all, and extending not just provincially, but nationally and internationally. At the recent ACWW Canada Area Conference in Langford, BC, it was very inspiring to hear of the tremendous work that has been done by grassroots members from coast to coast to coast of our nation. My hope is we will continue to build on these networking opportunities and raise the collective voice to international level. I will do my best to carry that voice forward. As you continue your work, please note that your dedication and your vision are making a real and lasting difference, one that will echo through for generations to come. So I congratulate you on all you have achieved, and may you continue to thrive and to inspire for many, many more years ahead. Thank you. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for your support of the work of ACWW. I hope to see many of you in person as we come together in Ottawa next spring at the ACWW Triennial World Conference to welcome the world to Canada and to celebrate the importance of standing strong as women united on issues, using our collective voice to bring about systemic change that will shine a light of hope amidst the many clouds of despair in our world. The Triennial World Conference registration package is on the ACWW website. The early bird registration continues for another month. The opportunity for day registration will come in September. Please contact me directly if you have any questions or inquiries, and I will respond as soon as I possibly can. There is another Triennial Conference Committee meeting a week from Monday, so if you have questions or concerns, please send them to me right away. At that meeting, we will be finalizing some more details, and immediately following that, there will be a Canada area newsletter coming out to all of your provincial offices, as well as to your provincial presidents and your chosen coordinators. I wish you the very best for a very meaningful, engaging, and productive AGM. And I want to thank you for inviting me and allowing me time on your busy agenda tonight to bring you greetings and a brief update. Thank you.
Thank you, Marie. We're always delighted to have you, and thank you so much for your very kind words. I would like to take this time to recognize our past presidents that are here this evening. I don't think Ellen joined us yet. She, I know, had hoped to join us today. She's 98 years old and will be 99 in September. So she's doing very well and is always very interested in hearing what we're doing. We do have Faye Mayberry. She's there. She can wave to, she's in with Marilyn Wattenberg in Alberta. We also have Sheila Nita, and Sheila is here. And of course, our own Marie Kenny. And Joan Holthe is here from BC. And of course, last but not certainly least, we have our own Margaret Weil, who is the most recent past president of FWIC. Elizabeth Rushton had hoped to be here this evening, but unfortunately, she's a busy lady and got double booked and had to go someplace else. So she's sending her regrets. So we will now go to Jacqueline Melvin, and we would ask Jacqueline to do the Mary Stuart Collect. Jacqueline.
Keep us, O Lord, from pettiness. Let us be large in thought and word and deed. Let us be done with fault finding and leave off self-seeking. May we put away all pretense and meet each other face to face without self-pity and without prejudice. May we never be hasty in judgment and always generous. Let us take time for all things. Make us grow calm, serene, gentle. Teach us to put into action our better impulses, straightforward and unafraid. Grant that we may realize that it is the little things that create differences, that in the big things of life we are one. And may we strive to touch and know the great human heart common to us all. And, O Lord God, let us not forget to be kind.
Thank you, Jacqueline. So at this time, I would like to introduce our parliamentarian for this evening. We welcome Gail Grills, who is a member of the Federated Women's Institutes of Ontario, as our parliamentarian. She was kind enough to agree. She certainly brings a wealth of knowledge and experiences on running meetings, and we are delighted that she's able to join us. So thank you, Gail. Hopefully we won't need to call on her. So our recording secretary this evening will be Jacqueline Melvin. She does our secretary work for the board for FWIC. So thank you, Jacqueline, for taking on that task this evening. Also this evening, assisting with our technology and our voting is Christine McKenzie. Christine is a WI member here in Nova Scotia and doesn't live very far from me. She happens to be also the office person for WINS and helped us with at Truro at the convention. So you may remember her down to back with art. So So unless you are asked to speak, we request that you keep yourself on mute during the meeting. But if you do have a question, you'll be welcome to raise your hand or to type your question in the chat box. Christine's going to take a moment and talk about how we're going to vote. Christine.
Sure. So hopefully you can see the slide that I just put up there now with voting procedures. So the first thing we want to remind people is that we ask that only the voting delegates vote. So when we have a motion, also we're looking for voting delegates only to make or second motions. Ideally, when a motion is raised, it would be raised by one province, and then the person seconding would be from another province. That's not a hard and fast rule, but it's just it's an ideal thing that we get motions that way. And then we'll only ask for in favor motions when we're doing the financial statements and when we're doing the auditor. So for all the other motions, we're going to just ask who is against the motion, which we hope will save a lot of time. We'll only have to count maybe none against the motions. And let me see, the last, there's also a note here that there will be an open question period at the end of the agenda.
Thank you, Christine.
Questions?
Any questions from anybody? So now do you want to go through the roll call and just to make sure that in case we missed anybody, I know some people came in after we started here, so.
Yeah, so I'll just, I guess maybe just ask about the ones that I don't have yet. Does that make
Sure.
sense?
Sure.
Okay. So I think I'm down to 4. I
Cool.
have for voting delegate, oh, sorry, no 5. Diane Damon, is she here? No. And Chandra Smith from New Brunswick. Ellen McLean. Lorraine Schertzel. And Lillian McCannell.
Lillian is home with a migraine.
Okay,
Okay.
that's too bad that she's sick, so.
So that brings us to 43 of 48 present with quorum 32.
Okay, so we've got
Good.
4.
Quorum, that's good.
Yeah,
Okay.
we have quorum. Right. So we're ready to roll.
I think so.
So the first, well, and I would request, unless you are speaking, if you could keep your microphone on mute. It just helps with the background noise and eliminates the background noise for us. So if you could do that, that'd be most helpful. All right, so first of all, we need a motion to approve the agenda with any changes as necessary.
Deborah Barrett, I move the agenda be approved with changes as necessary.
Thank you very much. Could we have a seconder for the motion, please?
Miriam Lang, I second the motion.
Thank you very much. So all voting delegates who are against this motion, would you please raise your hand? I'll give Christine a chance to flip through. She's got 4 screens there to look at, so. We're voting against the acceptance of the motion.
So I managed to get everybody all on my one view, Lynn, just so you know.
Good.
And I don't think I see anybody again.
All right,
So we have
Is-
25 people I'm seeing at the moment.
okay.
Double-
Any voting
Oh,
delegate
I was wrong.
wish to abstain? Should have 32.
I do have to cycle through, sorry, but
Okay.
I still don't see anybody against. So
Okay,
I
thank
guess
you.
unmute if you're against at this point. just
Okay.
so you know.
So we'll pause for 2 seconds. And if not, motion is carried. All right, we're moving right along. In your annual report, you have the abbreviated minutes for the AGM of 2024. Those of you, I think, should have all received the annual report. I do apologize that on page 4, on the blue heading, it says 25, not 24, but the rest of it says 24. So my apologies for that. The complete minutes where we talk about the guest speakers and all of the rest of the information that happened at the convention will be provided in the triennial report in 27. So these minutes only deal with things that we normally would deal with at an AGM. So we have a motion could we have a motion to approve the abbreviated minutes for the AGM 2024 as circulated?
I, Linda Zellum, move the minutes from the AGM 2024 be approved. Did we have a
Thank you.
seconder for the motion?
Thank you. Could I have a seconder for that?
Judy
I,
McLeod
uh,
will second that motion.
All right, Judy, thank you very much, Judy. So voting delegates, if there's anyone who is against that motion, please raise your hand.
And again, I'm not seeing anybody.
Okay, any voting delegate wish to abstain? Okay, if not, I declare the motion as carried. All right, is there any business arising from these minutes? Hearing none, seeing none, we will move ahead. President's report is found on page 8 and 9 of the annual report. And I'm not going to read the report. I trust that you have, or if you haven't, you will read it at some point. I just want to reiterate that how very fortunate we are to have such a dedicated board of members and provincial presidents who are willing to step up and help at any time. So I am very indebted to all of you, and a sincere thank you. Does anybody have any questions for my report? Being none, hearing none, we'll move right along. Linda Mason, would you like to introduce about the financial statements?
Yes, so the financial statements have been sent out to everyone, and we also have our auditor, Whitney Dean, here tonight to answer any questions or concerns. But for right now, if you've gone over the financials, does anybody have any questions or concerns that they'd like to direct to me? If not, I'll invite Whitney to give you a little overview of the financials that her accounting firm has done for us.
Thank you, Linda. So good evening, everyone. I'm Whitney. I work with Millards, and we completed a review on this year's financial statements. So the statements are in your package, and you've got the statement of financial position up there right now. I'll just give you a really brief overview of the engagement we performed. So we performed a review engagement this year. So what that means is the accompanying financial statements, including the statement of financial position, income statement, cash flows are all in accordance with accounting standards for not-for-profits as of March 31st, 2025. Just to note that it is a review. So what a review entails is primarily inquiry, analytical procedures, and other procedures as appropriate to gain appropriate evidence in order to support the conclusion reached. A few pages back, it was just, there is a qualification in the review engagement report, and that just relates to donations. That's just a revenue stream that is very common in not-for-profits, where because we can't evaluate the completeness, there's usually a qualification in a not-for-profit surrounding cash donations and things like that of that nature. So that conclusion is included in your report, and it is the same as ones that have been issued in the previous years. And so then if you'll flip just forward a few screens to the statement of financial positions. So at the end of the year, assets of the organization were $255,913. The government receivable is your HST rebate. So you'll be receiving money back this year related to that. Investments have increased over the previous year, and that's due to unrealized gains within the portfolio itself. So that's really determined by market fluctuations, and it's outside of the control of the organization. In terms of liabilities, at the end of the year, there was $38,811 in current liabilities. The largest component of that is your deferred revenue. So that's funding that you've received from various sources that are to be used in the following year where you haven't incurred the expenses yet. So you defer the revenue until those expenditures are incurred. On the next page is your statement of operations. So at the end of the year, the organization had a $28,903 surplus. The revenue and the expenses are broken down by fund, as you can see on the screen. If we go to the next page, I think it's easier to kind of follow. Actually, if you go one more page after that, sorry. So this is a schedule of operations. And so each fund, we do a separate schedule just so you can see how each individual fund, whether they had a surplus, deficit, things like that during the year. So this is your FWIC operating fund. So the operating fund had a surplus of 41,826. A lot of that was related to provincial fees. So those are recognized when received. So it's just timing of when things are coming in, as well as the unrealized gains we talked about the previous slides ago. And also the other income holds your convention-related revenue. So that's triennial in nature. So that's why you'll see the significant increase year over year. In terms of expenses, again, the largest driver of your increase in expenses are the triennial convention expenses. So you've kind of seen them both increase this year because the convention held. If you go to the next page, that outlines the Hoodless Homestead Operating Fund. So there you saw revenues of $84,593. The increase over the prior year is largely related to the different grants received this year. So there were some from the Ontario Trillium, as well as some grants related to wages and other operating and capital items in nature. There was also an increase in the donation and admissions revenue streams this year. Expenses, there was $98,145,000 in expenses. One of the driving increases was the event expenses this year. And then on the next page is the endowment fund schedule. So that is just the investment income held on those endowment funds, as well as the $300 expenditure that's there each year. The remaining parts of the statement are things like your cash flow, as well as your notes that kind of give some additional important information. I won't go through all of them, but if anyone has questions, I'm more than happy to kind of answer anything that's kind of come to mind. If there's anything.
Thank you, Whitney. Does anyone have any questions for Whitney? Linda Zella?
Yes. So yeah, on page 18, I noticed that you have the in convention expenses, but you don't have a line for the income for it specifically. So if anyone is looking at it, it looks like we paid out a lot of money for the expenses, but it doesn't show what the income is.
Yes, the income from the triennial convention is included in the other income line.
Okay, why is it not separate then?
It was just included there as kind of a general line. If in future years you'd like it separated out, I'm more than happy to add that separation or a note disclosure surrounding what's in other income.
Yeah, I think it would be better if it was separated out. Thanks.
Thank you, Linda. Any other questions? Being none, say thank you to Whitney. And could we have a motion to accept the financial statements as prepared by Millard's Chartered Professional Accountants for 24-25?
Dean Keenan. I move that the financial reports for FWIC for 2025-2024 be accepted.
Thank you very much. May we have a seconder for that, please?
I, Linda James, second the motion.
Thank you very much. You have heard the motion. If there are any further questions or discussion? And as we noted at the beginning, this is one of the two motions where we do need to count the votes in favor as well as those against. So, all right, for those of you who are voting delegates who want to vote in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. And, or Christine, are you going to,
I'm saying that, don't tell me we want to stop.
are you gonna call them by province or what are you gonna do?
That's probably the easier way.
Okay.
Okay, so let me go. This is the finance statements, not the budget.
This is finance.
My hand don't go up.
Oh, sorry, Lynn.
All
Talking,
right.
talking on mute, yeah. Alberta is what I'm looking for. So I see. Oh, this is hard. We're just looking for Alberta right now. If everybody else wants to put their hands down.
So Alberta, we would have Francis, Linda Tays, and Marilyn Wattenberg.
I see two of the three. Do you see all three?
I see Linda. I see. I feel like I'm in Rockville.
Wow.
Yeah, I see Marilyn. Okay, we're good.
Okay, so you got three.
Yes.
All right. And then we're moving on to BC.
BC, you'll have Vicky, Hess,
We're looking for
Joan.
6.
You have Vicky, Joan, Susan Hazuski, Donna Jack, Judy McLeod, and Shelley Simrose.
Yes.
You got them?
Those are their names. I
Yes.
don't see them yet. See any of them.
I think we're good. Yeah, I see Susan's not. We're good.
It's interesting. You're seeing things that I'm not. Okay, so you think they're all there?
I think we're good.
Okay. We're moving on then to FWIC. We have
FWIC,
11
the
there.
board. So we should have 11, all of us. So
1, 2.
some of them are raising their hands, using the mouse. They're all here. So
I find it a lot easier to see when people use the button than their actual hands, interestingly. Just, I don't know if people know how to use that, but so you know.
Just for familiarity's sake, maybe you should just tell everybody where to find the hand thing, just so they can use it.
Yeah, so it's down in the bottom and it's under a button called React. It looks like a heart, at least on mine. And it doesn't really matter which one you click. The one that looks like thumbs up, I guess, would be good. Oh.
I think we're good.
I think we're good, eh?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Manitoba, we have Liz Chonga and
Manitoba.
Madu.
I have 2.
I have to keep practicing that name. We're
Mm.
good there, so. New Brunswick, we have Madine and Carol and Lori Ann.
I see Lorianne and Carol.
Lori Ann,
everyone?
Yep, we're good.
You're good? All right.
Yep.
They're very
Newfoundland.
helpful.
Oh, you're fine, you're doing fine.
All right,
Thank you.
Newfoundland.
Beverly.
Uh,
And Judy Button. And Philomena. And Marion Stratton and Elizabeth Young. I see Marion. Elizabeth's okay.
There's 4 more. I think they're all there.
Yep, I would say we're good. All right,
Okay.
Nova Scotia. We have
We
Judy,
3.
Judy, Margie, and Anne. So I think we're good. I saw Margie, so.
I see Anne and Judy. Yeah, we're good.
Okay. Ontario, we have Cheryl. And I don't think we found Lorraine and Jenny was here. I think we did okay.
I had all of them, but
Oh, you
maybe
did?
I
Okay,
have.
good. All right, cool. Okay. Annie's got her hand up, yeah. So we're good there. And in Prince Edward Island, we had Carrie
Edward
and
Island.
Carolyn.
And Lillian.
No, Lillian's sick, so
Oh,
yes.
I had her marked. Okay.
She had the-
Maybe I marked the wrong Lillian or something.
Okay. And last and certainly not but least, we have Pat and Michigan and Sheila and Judy and Norma and Alice. I think we're good.
Okay, so then my error kind of adjusts your quorum. If you're keeping that in the minutes, you might want to reduce that by 1.
Okay, we will do that. Thank you. Any voting delegates who want to vote against the motion, if you could use the hand emoji, hand signal, that would be good. So
Yeah, that would be a good way to check it now.
you should be able to do a quick.
Anybody against? I'm not seeing any hands up.
Right? And any voting delegate wishing to abstain? Okay.
Yeah. I think
Motion
we're good.
carried. Awesome. So thank you, Whitney, for your time, and we appreciate you joining us this evening. And we will now move on to the motion to accept the budget for 25-26. And Linda, did you want to talk to that? Did you want to put that on the screen? We can. I think Christine has it actually. So it's certainly in the report. So it's in the report. So
yeah, if anybody wants to see it, we could put it on the screen. And everybody does have to realize that it's a budget. It's a guess, and it's our best guess. We know of some of the grants that we've already received, and some that we are applying for and hoping to get. The one major expense on here that I'd like to point out is that we're going to need to replace the furnace. It's outdated. We can't get parts for it anymore. So it's going to be a big expense that we have to adjust for. We have to accommodate for. We will be getting quotes to find the best way to do this. So if everybody has had a chance to look over this budget, and if they have any questions, I'm here to try and answer them for you.
right. I don't see any. So could we have a motion to accept the budget for 25-26?
I, Carolyn McFadgen, move the budget for 2025-2026 to be accepted as presented.
Thank you, Carolyn. Can we have a seconder for the motion, please?
Cheryl Sullivan, I second the motion.
Thank you very much. So voting delegates, is there anyone who wishes to vote against this particular motion? You can use either the check mark or the hand signal that we showed you a little earlier. So
I see one hand up.
hand raised, okay? Hands, okay, voting against it, okay? Well, very good then. Thank you.
Is this against?
Yes.
Oh, I thought it was for. Sorry.
No, this one we're doing against. So
Okay.
thank you. So you're okay.
Yep.
Awesome. Any voting delegate wish to abstain? Not seeing any.
Think so.
Okay, it's more screens here. Okay, motion is carried. All right, so the FWIC Board of Directors has recommended that Millard's Chartered Professional Accountants be appointed as the auditor again for FWIC for 25-26. So could we please have a motion to appoint Millard's Chartered Professional Accountants as the auditor for FWIC for 25-26?
I'm Margie Taylor from Nova Scotia. Move that the Millard's Chartered Professional Accountants be appointed as the auditor for the FWIC 2025-2026 year.
Thanks, Margie. May we have a seconder for the motion?
I, Shelley Simrow, second the motion.
Thank you. You have heard the motion. there any discussion on this? Again, we have to do voting delegates who want to vote in favor of this motion. So we'll, Christine, why don't you just call for BC and we'll go through them that way.
Okay.
Might be quicker. So nobody put their hands up until she calls for your province.
So the first one actually would be Alberta.
Yes, sorry.
Yeah.
My alphabet's here.
I'm surprised it's not
Excuse me,
getting
Lynn, but
on the screen.
I don't think the sound is really great. Now, I know I have a hearing problem.
Am I muted again?
No, you're fine.
No, sorry. I
You're
can't find the
good.
button.
I
I've got
was
too many things.
muted probably, Lynn, was I?
Okay, I see
Yeah,
one
you're
hand.
fine. You're fine, Marion. So we'll
I
mute
think
you.
the sound, I don't know if anybody else is having trouble with the sound, but
You can't hear us?
I can't hear, not too well.
Okay, I don't know, Marion. I haven't, Margie?
I'm just gonna say, when the financial report was given, it was hard to hear.
Whitney?
No.
Linda?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But you can hear the rest of us?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So can you hear us now, Marion? Is it better now?
What's that, Lynn?
Is it better now?
Maybe. No,
Okay.
you're not too bad, but I couldn't hear Linda's report at all.
Okay, all right. It's good to know. We'll watch that going forward then, so. All right, thank you. So we got Alberta,
I
Canada,
think
let's
they're
move
all there. Yeah, it's
BC, okay,
BC.
yep. And now, BC's all good. And you could lower your hands and then we'll move to FWIC.
FWIC, yeah.
So it should be 11 of those, and I can't vote because I don't have an icon to do that. So. Just a count me.
I think they're all there.
Should be.
Things
Another...
jump around so much, I don't know.
Okay, that's okay, Christine. I appreciate your help.
Okay, Manitoba.
Yes, 2 people.
Hopefully people will speak up if we're getting it wrong.
Yeah, no, I think we're doing okay. And New
Yeah,
Brunswick?
that one looks good.
Yeah, New Brunswick.
1, 2.
So Nadine, Carol, and Lorianne.
Again, I think you're good.
Okay. And then for Newfoundland, we have Beverly, Judy, Philomena, Marion, and Elizabeth. So.
So I need you to put my hand up again.
Okay. We got you, Elizabeth.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Gotcha. And Nova Scotia, Judy Parks, Margie, and Ann.
Good.
And
well, that's
the next page is
Ontario.
Ontario, Cheryl, Lorraine, and Jenny.
Lovely.
And Prince Edward
TPI.
Islands is Carrie and Carolyn. And certainly last but not least, Quebec. Pat, Micheline, Sheila, Judy, Norma, and Alice.
Good.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, I think so.
Awesome. Any voting delegates who want to vote against the motion?
Looks good.
Okay, any voting delegate wishing to abstain from voting on the motion? Seeing none, motion is carried. Awesome. All right, let's shift gears. And I know lots of you are very interested in hearing about our guest speaker and hearing from our guest speaker this evening. So Angela, I'll turn this over to you to introduce her.
Thank you, Lynn. Tonight, I'm delighted to introduce to everyone Wen Shen. She is a graduate student at the Toronto Metropolitan University, pursuing a master's in fashion with a focus on sustainable textiles. With a background as a trained fashion designer and product developer, Wen's current research explores the potential for Ontario's local fibers, working closely with farmers to transform fleece into high-quality products. Wen's academic and professional experiences have shaped her belief in creating meaningful, long-lasting products that carry stories and purpose, values she strives to instill in her work and share with others. Welcome, Wen.
Thank you. Okay, let me share my screen. Then I will need to present. One second. Sorry, technology.
We understand perfectly.
Okay, can everybody see the screen?
Yes.
Okay. Good
Yes, go
evening,
ahead.
everyone. Awesome. Thank you so much for having me here today. It is truly an honor to speak with the Women's Institute. I know how much this community values learning, sharing, and supporting one another, and I am really grateful for the opportunity to be part of that today. Before we start, sorry, that's my cat feeder. Before we start, there are a few things I would like to address. First of all, if you have any questions during the talk, you can either type in the chat box or ask at the end of the presentation. There will be a Q&A session. And if you need caption, at the bottom of the bar, there should be 3 dots. If you click that, there's an option called caption. If you click that, there's live caption. What is next? Oh, if I go through my slides too fast, don't worry, I will send a copy of those slides to Angela. So you will, if you're interested, you will get that later. Next, I would like to introduce myself a little bit. Thank you to Angela. My name is Wen, and I'm currently a graduate student at TMU, where I study fashion with a focus on sustainable textile, mainly about wool. And before going back to school, I worked in a wearable tech company as a product developer. But over time, I started asking more questions about the material that we use, how they've been made, or what's their afterlife. That is what led me to the research I'm doing now, exploring how local fibers like Ontario wool might help us create textile products that's more meaningful and more sustainable. Today, I want to share a few thoughts with you about a question we don't often stop to ask. What are we really wearing? We will take a closer look at the building blocks of our clothes, which is fiber, and why understanding them can help us make more informed, thoughtful choices in our everyday lives. Now you might be thinking, well, I'm not a big shopper, or I'm not really a fashion person, but this is more than just clothing. Let me ask, how many of you are knitting or crocheting these days, or even right now? I have my spindles right beside me, that's why I'm asking. And have you ever wondered whether those cooling bed sheets actually work? Textile fiber is the base of so many things in our lives, from what we wear to what we sleep on to what we made with our hands. And today's talk isn't about making perfect decisions or tossing out everything synthetic that you have. It's about learning, getting curious, and finding small, meaningful ways to care for both our planet and our wardrobe. And before we dive in, here's a quick overview of what we will be covering today. First, we will start with the basic of fibers, like what they are, where they come from, and how they are categorized. Then we will look at a few common materials like cotton, wool, polyester, and bamboo, and talk about what makes each one unique, along with the impacts they have on the environment. We'll also chat a bit about greenwashing, what to watch out for when labels sound too good to be true. And finally, I will share some practical tips for making more meaningful and mindful choices when it comes to clothing and textile in general. So why does any of this matter? We all wear clothes every day, but we really stop to think about where they come from, who made them, how they're made, or what they're made of. But those materials, the fibers, have a big impact on the environment, on people's health, and on the world around us. Whether you're a knitter, a shopper, or just trying to stay warm, understanding textile gives us power to make better choices. All clothing starts with fiber. There are different kinds of fibers, which we will get into details in the next few slides. Fiber gets spun into yarn and then woven or knitted into fabric, and finally cut and sew into garments. That's how garments is made. And usually all of these steps, like growing fibers, spinning it into yarn, weaving the fabric, dyeing, and sewing, don't really happen in one place. They're spread out across multiple countries. As you can see on this global map on the left side, each color represents a different stage of production. This global supply chain creates a huge carbon footprint, especially when companies move materials back and forth across countries. For example, I love Nike, but Nike used 533 factories in 41 countries, sourcing materials from 78 facilities in 11 countries. That's a lot of travel before a garment even reaches the store. That's one of the environmental impacts that our garment make, even before they get into our hands. Jump back to the textile. This slide is very important. Please follow me if you missed this. It might be hard to catch up later. So earlier we mentioned that fiber is the first stage of everything. There are three main types of fibers: natural, synthetic, and semi-synthetic. So natural fibers come from plants and animals. Like we have the little picture here. We have cotton. We have llama, which alpaca comes from llama. We have goat. We have, what is that? Mohair comes from goat. Sheep, there are so many different kinds of sheep fleece. Angora comes from a rabbit. And synthetic. So synthetic fabric is like polyester and nylon. They're made from petroleum, which is basically oil. And last but not least is the semi-synthetic. This is the tricky one. It starts with natural sources, but go through heavy chemical processing, like bamboo viscose or rayon. So if you hear people saying we use natural fiber, we use bamboo, and it's so good to us, well, put a question mark there. And let's take a closer look at how different types of fibers are made. Even though they're all become fabric in the end, the way they're created can be wildly different, and that really affects their environmental impact. So synthetic fibers are man-made and using fossil fuels, usually petroleum, and they're like polyester, nylon, acrylic, and these fibers are made in chemical factories. Plastic is melted and extruded into long strands that are then spun into yarn. So in some cultures, people also make spaghetti or noodle, well, maybe not spaghetti, but noodles in that way as well. And natural fibers come directly from plants and animals. They're like cottons, wool, silk. So cotton is harvested from cotton plants. It's plain, spun into yarn, and then knit or weave into fabric. And the wool is shown from sheep, then gets scoured, which is taking the dirt and the lanolin out. They need to be carded and then spun into yarn. And then it's the tricky one, semi-synthetic fibers. It's a bit of a mix. They come from natural sources like bamboo or wood pulp, and they're heavily processed using chemicals. So the stuff like rayon, viscose, modal, bamboo, they're all semi-synthetic. The raw plant material is broken down using strong solvents and turned into a pulp and then extruded into fibers. As I often said, no fiber is perfect. I still believe that today. Each type comes with its own environmental challenges and trade-offs. For examples, we have a little chart here. Synthetic fibers are cheap and durable, but they require a lot of energy to produce and release microplastics when washed. And because they're basically just plastic, they don't really biodegrade. They can sit in the landfills for hundreds of years. Natural fibers, on the other hand, are renewable and biodegradable, but they're not always perfect. For example, cotton can use a lot of water and pesticides. Still, they usually need less energy to produce than synthetic fabrics, and they tend to break down naturally at the end of their life. Semi-synthetic fibers might feel soft and natural, but the process can be quite toxic if not managed properly. In fact, some eco-materials like bamboo viscose are actually just rayon with a green label. So even though these fibers start from nature, they can have a chemical heavy and a polluting footprint. Again, nothing is perfect. Natural doesn't always mean better. There usually is, but it really depends on full picture. And here we go, the greenwashing. So what is greenwashing? That's when brands usually so they use eco-friendly language to make themselves sound sustainable, even when they're not. Words like eco, natural, or conscious often mean very little without real evidence. Sometimes they even share misleading information. Remember the bamboo material I mentioned earlier? It sounds very green, but the reality is often far from the sustainable. Or take labels like, we use sustainable materials, something that just mean, well, actually they use recycled cardboard for packaging, but the garment itself is still made of 100% polyester. And that's a real story from real life. Very sad. So what can we do? Start by reading the labels, looking into brands and asking questions. Always aim for natural or recycled fibers when possible. Look for quality pieces that will last. Wash gently and air dry to extend lifespan. I know that one is very hard. And when you can, support brands that are transparent about their sourcing and production. Ultimately, this is about rethinking how we relate it to our clothing. Do we really need as much as what we think we do? Can we take better care of what we already have? Whether it's buying secondhand, mending something old, or simply just buying less, we all have ways to participate in a more mindful system. And also, please, please, please consider your own situation before making a purchase. Don't feel ashamed if you can't afford to buy 100% cashmere sweater. When I first came to Canada 10 years ago, I was living under my parents' support. I couldn't afford much. It was June and I got into my school. Who knows, I would need a jacket because the AC in my classroom was so strong. I went to Garage, the fast fashion company, the brand. I bought an olive green jacket that's made of 100% polyester. It was maybe around $49.99, but it feels so expensive to me at the time. That jacket, I still wear it today. Sure, the snaps have fallen off and there are stains here and there, but I kept mending it, and now I see those marks as kind of like badge of honor. So to me, that's another form of sustainability. So if you really like something that's not made of 100% of natural fiber, or that's something that fits your budget, and you know you will wear it for a long time, go for it. Because the most sustainable garment is the one that you actually wear, not the one that you purchased, sitting in your closet for decades, and still brand new. And that leads us to the end of the talk. Thank you so much for your time and attention. I hope this gave you a new perspective on the clothes we wear and the material that surrounds us every day. If you have any questions, thoughts, and stories, I'd love to hear them. And
I have a question, Wen.
Yeah.
When we think about the fibers from the wool, a lot of us have allergies to wool. It makes us itch.
Yeah.
Are there any tricks that you know of that we can enjoy wool products better than?
Yes. So I heard that a lot, and that's actually a myth. So most of the people are not allergic to wool because wool is like kind of a hair, and we all have hair. It's sort of impossible to make us allergic to hair. So the itchiness that you feel depends on the course of the fiber. So there are so many different breeds of sheep that produce different fiber length or the thickness, the softness of fibers. So you might need to choose something like cashmere. It's famous for its softness. So you need to choose those ones that has long, stable, very soft, and spun in a certain way that produce less itchiness. Because when a staple is short, the staple will poke out, and that's what makes you itchy.
Okay, okay, yeah. And what about storing wool?
Moth? That what you're
Yeah,
worried about?
yeah.
Yeah, that is very annoying. So when they don't like those herb smell, so you can put some essential oils in the closet to prevent them. If you find there's moss already, isolate the garments. Well, actually, isolate the whole closet. Make garments into the freezer. So usually the freezer, if you freeze it overnight or for the whole day, it will kill the moth.
Okay, okay, good idea.
So
Thank
we
you.
had a, thanks you. We had a question in the chat. How do you classify Puma cotton
Give me 1 second.
or Prima cotton, which is it?
So give me 1 second. Sorry, I'm lost. Am I still sharing?
Yes, you are.
Okay, how do I
You can
stop
sharing, yes, and then we'll get the full screen back.
Oh, here we go.
There you go.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, so
yeah, let me have a look at the chart. How do we
Prima cotton? Yeah.
Okay, so that's usually, so Pima cotton is sort of a cotton that's from Egypt. That's where they produce it. And there is, what is it, label eco something? So there is company that has certifications about materials like cottons. And then those company will tell you that if those like wool, what is it, wool company, wool campaign, like wool campaign. So if you join them, you will see the trace of how your wool is grown, how everything's processed, same as cotton. If they join that trade cotton company or more like legislation, and they will have the process of saying, oh, we follow all the rules, everything's like grown properly, dealt properly. Oh, is Pima from India? I thought it's from Egypt. Yeah, so there's those organizations that you can trace.
Yeah. I have another question. You talked in your talk about some of the transparent brands that are maybe better than other companies. Can you name one or two that we might be familiar with that are very transparent?
There's a company called Cotton, Kotn. So they're in a transparent way of they tell you all their cost, where their materials from, and what the reason they charge you, like why they charge you this much. So that's one example.
Yeah, good. Thank you.
Are there any other questions?
I have one last question. I know I'm very inquisitive tonight. And this might not necessarily be a question just for Wen. Other people might have the answer. How many of you are familiar with the old wool? It wasn't wool, it was yarn, I guess, called Fentex. Yes. Do they still make Fentex?
Yes, I believe you can still get Fentex.
Okay. And when are you familiar with Fentex at all?
No.
It was something, it's like 40 or 50 years old was when they first started it. And it was made primarily from nylon. It was like a worsted weight for you made slippers with it actually. And the slippers were quite hard and extremely durable. Like they would never wear out. I think we all have some left still. So I just wondered if you had ever had a chance to see the Fentex yard. It would be an example of something that isn't necessarily great for the environment, but it does last forever.
Thanks, Angela. We did have another question in the chat. Do you know what material wears the longest, what costs the least, and what costs the least to produce? And this Carolyn says she loves linen. So where does linen fit in all of this?
That is a very tough one. Well, linen does last long, and the longer you wear it, the softer it gets. Cost the least is a tricky one. Well, you can always spin your own yarn and produce your own garment. That's the way I do it. Speaking of the stuff that wear the longest, leather is the one like that lasts forever.
Well, thank you. Any other questions? Either you can take off being mute or put them in the chat here and I'll pay attention here. So. If not, I'll call on Pentex is available on Amazon. There, somebody's looked it up.
Oh,
So
for heaven's sakes. Thank you.
the same as everything else, it's available on Amazon. So all right, Elizabeth, would you like to thank our guest speaker for us, please?
Yes, I would. Wen, I'd like to thank you for your most interesting and informative presentation here tonight. This happens to be a topic that we are exploring both through the FWIC and each of the provincial branches. So it was a very timely presentation, and we want to thank you very much to coming to our meeting tonight and giving us this valuable information. Thank you.
Great, thanks. Claps for Wen. So
yeah,
good job.
Yay.
We'll be hearing more about this topic as we get into the fall and see what else we can do and our members can do as we learn more about material and clothes and how we can make some good choices. So, all right, so we'll now move on to the FWIC reports. We will invite each chair to move the adoption of their report. And if you have some questions, you can raise your hands and we will do our best to answer them at that time. So we're going to start with communication and outreach, and Angela's has that one, and her Angela.
Okay, thanks, Lynn. The report for Communication and Outreach Committee is on page 30 in the annual report. We have a very large committee, but I won't go into all of the details. We have a very large committee, but we still need more volunteers to help move communications forward. So if anyone is interested in any sort of social media, please get in contact with Lynn or myself, as well as if you enjoy doing writing, desktop publishing, anything and everything. We have a need for it all, so please consider helping out. The next things that we're going to be working on with communication and outreach will be trials and testing of some specific promotional ideas and implements. And before I close and ask for the adoption of the report, I wanted to say that we have a great need right now for pen pals. Recently, we've been advertising the pen pal coordinators, Judy and Wendy, I'm sorry. Judy and Wendy are the coordinators for the pen pals, and they need Canadian women to correspond with women all over the world. So if you're interested, the email address to get in contact with the coordinators is PALS, PALS, at fwic.ca. That's an email address. So drop them a line and see if you might be able to help out and correspond with some other women around the world. That being said, I move the adoption of my report.
Thank you very much, Angela. Any questions for Angela? Didn't see any. Okay, we'll move on to fundraising. Excuse me, Donna Henderson.
Hi there. We like to put the fun in fundraising, and we tried last year with a Pampered Chef party. For those of you who bought things from that party, I hope you enjoyed your products. We're hoping to do another one in November. So we'll get your Christmas lists ready. And we'd like to try Alouette in the spring. So look that up and see if there's anything you need for that. And I would like to move the adoption of my report.
Thank you, Donna. Any questions for Donna? Okay, we'll move on. Homestead, Linda Zellum.
Muted. Oh, sorry. I unmuted you and then you, sorry.
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Yes, well, thanks very much for Lynn for compiling this. It's on page 33 and part on page 34. And the highlight, actually, there's a lot of highlights in it, so I hope that you read it. Will be this Friday with the Lieutenant Governor coming to Brant County, and Mayor Bailey has invited her to the homestead, so she'll be joining us at the homestead and having tea and then whisked away to another meeting. So if you've had a chance to read that, did anybody have any questions on it? If not, I move the adoption of this report.
Thank you, Linda. Projects Committee, I think Brenda or Angela, who wants to take this one?
Angela, do you want me to, or do you have something already prepared?
No, you go right ahead, Brenda.
Okay. We are in 1 year into our FWIC project of sustainable style, and we have learned a lot, and we are looking forward to continuing in the fall, and there's lots more we want to talk about and discuss with you. I would like to move the adoption of the report for the sustainable style project.
Thank you very much, Brenda. Any questions? Right, move on. Resolutions, Linda James.
Hi, my report is on page 35 of the annual report. And I would like to say that we're finishing up with the resolutions that were passed last year at the triennial regarding the doctors. And I would like to remind everybody to start working on your resolutions for the next triennial that's coming up. And I move the adoption of my report.
Thank you very much, Linda James. Any questions for Linda? Okay, ACWW coordinator, and we're very fortunate Miriam Link will place this role for us. So Miriam.
My report, the ACWW report is on page 36. And it's been worked on. We passed 3 resolutions in Malaysia, and they're working on those resolutions, of course, all the time. But one thing I want to stress is the Canada Area Conference that was held in British Columbia. Everyone was so pleased with it, and a lot of work went into that. And thank everyone that was involved, especially the committee in British Columbia. So I'd like to move the adoption of my report.
Thank you very much, Miriam. Any questions for Miriam? Okay, could we have a seconder to accept all of the committee reports for 24-25?
Linda Taves here. I'll second those reports.
Thank you very much, Linda. You have heard the motion. Is there any more discussion? All right, voting delegates, anyone wishing to vote against this motion, please raise your hand. A quick look at the screens.
think you're good.
Thank you. Any voting delegate wanting to abstain from voting on the motion? Good. Motion is carried. So next on the agenda, as you know, the next national convention will be held in 2027. We are aware that at least 2 areas in the country are investigating the possibility of hosting. And so we're hopeful that FWIC will be issued an invitation from one of them, maybe both of them, but one of them would be great, before the end of 2025. So stay tuned and fingers crossed that somebody is able to help us out here. So that's all I want to say about the national convention at this point. So at this point, I'd like to invite the provincial presidents to share their reports. And we're going to not go alphabetically in the book. We're going to go from east to west tonight. So we're going to start with beautiful Newfoundland and Elizabeth Moss.
Thank you very much. My provincial report is on page 41 in the AGM booklet. And the highlight of this year was still going on. We were celebrating our 90th birthday, and we had the pleasure of having Lynn McLean, your national president, and also Marie Kenny, the ACWW Canada area president, come to our triennial conference that we held last month in June. Thank you.
Thank you, Elizabeth. It was great fun to be there. We enjoyed it immensely. PEI, Carolyn McFadden.
Sorry, just had to unmute there.
No problem.
Yes, thank you very much, Lynn. And as being a new president, I wasn't sure what was I had to do during this AGM. So I'm just going to say thank you. And my report is, I'm not sure even what, it's on page 44, I believe. And we've been very busy on Prince Edward Island, and our membership is growing. We have new branches that are coming up. We have one called the Confederation branch, and that's very exciting to see newcomers that are coming to Prince Edward Island that are wanting to join Women's Institute and be part of the growing community. It's actually exciting to see it grow. So that is our highlight for Prince Edward Island. Thank you. And I move to adoption on this report.
Thanks, Carolyn. It's great. And we were happy to join you on the island when you were inducted as president too. So it was a great conference. So Women's Institutes of Nova Scotia, Margie.
Thank you, Madam President. Hello, everyone. My report is found in the annual report of page 41 and into page 42. I hope everybody had a chance to peruse that. And I'd just like to add that the Women's Institute of Nova Scotia is going to be hosting their AGM this year in person at the Museum of Industries in Stellarton, Nova Scotia on August 21st. And that'll be exciting for us. We're hoping to get together and make some more plans for a great WI for another upcoming year. So thank you for that.
Thanks, Margie. We look forward to that meeting. New Brunswick WI, Nadine Keenan.
Good evening, everyone. I'm quite new at this. I was just went in as president the end of May, so I'm relatively very new. My report is on page 40 in the booklet, and I hope that everybody has had a chance to read it. And for those of you who haven't, maybe that's something that you could do over the next few days. And hopefully we'll continue to strive as we have been and have everything successful over the next year or so. Thank you.
That's great, Nadine. Thank you. Appreciate it. Quebec WI, Linda James.
Hi, my report is on page 46, and I would like to bring your attention to 2 organizations that we have been working with. Days for Girls, we've been working with them since 2018. They are a very important organization dealing with menstrual products, reusable menstrual products for countries that don't have access to them, Africa and Haiti. And it's a very important organization. And the new one that we started working with this year is called Postcards to the Front, that are sending postcards to the Ukraine, to the soldiers and the workers in the Ukraine. They're both very important organizations, and I think you should look them up and maybe you can help them as well. And I thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Linda. And certainly you can find out some more information. I think we're going to put something in the WI Connections about that Postcards to the Front. That's an interesting way to be able to show support to the soldiers in the Ukraine. FWIO, Cheryl Sullivan.
Thank you, Lynn. My report is on page 42 and 43 of the annual report. And I just wanted to say, if anyone's traveling through Ontario, if you're traveling in Canada this year, be sure to come and visit the Erlen Lee Museum. Our Erlen Lee Museum Committee does a lot of work there and runs various programs. And if you're going to visit the Erlen Lee Museum, then it's very close to the homestead as well. So welcome to Ontario if anyone is traveling this summer. Thank you.
Thanks, Cheryl. Those are two great reminders to visit those museums. So, and hopefully some people will do that this summer. Manitoba, Deborah Barrett.
Good evening. Manitoba's report is found on page 38 and 39. And the Manitoba resolutions for 2024 to 2025. Pardon me?
Oh, go ahead, dear.
Oh, were not included in our report as they had to be presented.
We lose her? She's gone mute.
Okay.
The resolutions that we passed were a national silver alert to be run in conjunction with the National Amber Alert program. And the second was the provision by an accredited addictions treatment facility to be provided to incarcerated individuals. So those were the two resolutions that our members passed.
Well, that's
Thank
very
you.
good. Thanks, Deborah. That's good information, and maybe they could share those with Linda James for the resolutions committee, and maybe we can help you with that. So that'll be good work. Alberta WI, Linda Tays.
Hello, everyone. So my report is on page 38 of the AGM report. Our highlight for this year was the Living and Learning program that we ran through a grant from the New Horizons for Seniors program. It was very successful. We presented information sessions and craft sessions, and the craft sessions particularly were so well attended that we put on a physical location as well as numerous remote locations, and they were bursting at the seams. So it was great to see that, and we're going to continue that for the coming year as well. If anybody would like to read the report, it's on page 38. Thank you, Lynn.
Thank you, Linda. Appreciate that, and that's great that your New Horizons project was so successful. So, BC, last but not least, Shelley.
Hi, thank you, Lynn. We have unfortunately had a decline in numbers this year, but hopefully we'll continue getting more. We hope so anyways. I think my biggest highlight was the ACWW on the island in Langford. I met a lot of you firsthand, not over Zoom, which was really nice. And we continue to support the Children's Hospital and the Children's Health Foundation of Vancouver Island. And we continue with the forensic nursing bursary. And my report is on page 37 and 38. If you would like to read it all, thank you.
Thank you, Shelley. Certainly that work that you've done in the forensic nursing and your supports to the hospitals there are models that the rest of us are looking at. So thank you. Thank you to all our provincial presidents for your excellent reports and the time that you give to your own provinces, but also that you add to us nationally, because it really makes a difference. We have now come to the program where we get to announce the Adelaide Hunter Hoodless Canadian Woman of the Year for 2025. So it's my pleasure to read you a little bit about this year's recipient. So this year's recipient of the Adelaide Hunter Hoodless Canadian Woman of the Year is a lifetime member and a leader in Women's Institute. In fact, her volunteering and community leadership spans 7 decades. She has held all positions in the branch, written the branch history, and was a leader when the branch acquired a local school and renovated it to become the community center, which has now become the heart of this rural community. Her infectious leadership style draws others to her cause and makes people want to be a part of whatever it is she is doing. She is devoted to her community, yet does not look for glory and often downplays her efforts. This individual does so much for so many and asks for nothing in return. She has been strongly involved in the wider community, including in sitting on the advisory board for the status of women, the EI Appeals Board, as well as numerous historical boards. She was also a leader in the 4-H program in their district, and moreover, she is a registered nurse and was a registered nurse in practice. So FWIC is very pleased to award the Adelaide Hunter Hoodless Canadian Woman of the Year to Louise McLeod from Uget Kinross Grandview WI branch in Prince Edward Island. And I think Louise is here.
You can take your
I can find her.
Yes, I'm here.
You're here?
Yes.
Let's see if
How
we
would
can
you
find her.
Let's see now. How would you see me?
Let me see.
It's
Can we
under
find
Jane.
her?
It's under Jane McPhee.
Oh, it's under Jane McPhee.
Yeah,
Okay.
where I logged in with Louise.
Okay, Jane McPhee. Can you see her, Christine?
I do.
Can you put her on spotlight?
I'm
You know how to do that? 3 little dots up on the right-hand corner.
Up here,
Oh, yes, there it is.
There we
Okay.
go. Awesome. Well, congratulations, Louise. We will make arrangements with Carolyn and Miriam to get you a certificate in the not too distant future. Is there anything you'd like to say tonight? We're delighted that you're here with us. So
I just want to thank you very much. And I think really my only claim to fame is I lived long enough to do all those things. I just keep doing the same thing, but I have been given the time to do that. So a lot of people have done a lot in my area and all across Canada too. So thank you very much.
well, we're delighted to have you with us tonight and congratulations. So it's very well deserving. The letters are lovely, so well deserved.
I can see my pen.
Okay, so moving along, we're going to have one director that we need to install, and we're going to call on our past president, Margaret Bile, and our director to install is from New Brunswick WI, Marion Green. So we welcome Marion back to the board. Mary and I were on the board. It was only yesterday, wasn't it, Marion? So it's a few years ago. So Margaret, if you will take it to you.
Okay, thank you, Lynn. It is my honor this evening to charge you with the responsibilities of an elected board member and to install you to your appointed task. Marion, you have been appointed to your province and given the responsibility of being the liaison between your provincial organization and a national organization. Your provincial organization will keep you informed of their activities, and you will share those activities with the national board. As directors of the Federated Women's Institutes of Canada, WI Canada, you will inform your provincial organization of the activities of FWIC. You will support your president and president-elect, helping them with their respective responsibilities. Do you accept the privileges and responsibilities conferred on you by the office to which you have been appointed or elected, And do you promise to fulfill your duties to the best of your ability throughout your term of office?
I do.
I now declare that the director is duly ratified and installed as a member of the Board of the Directors of the Federated Women's Institutes of Canada. Congratulations, and I know you will be an asset to the organization.
Thank you.
Thank you, Margaret. Welcome aboard officially, Marion. We've had the pleasure of your presence for a couple of months now. So anyway, and we look forward to next year's with you on board. Now, at this time, we can open the floor for any questions or comments anybody would like to make. If you want to put them in the chat, or if you want to raise your hand, we will, Christine and I'll do our very best to find you. So.
I'm not seeing any hands up or anything.
Okay, that's fine.
I'd like to say something, Lynn, if that's okay.
You are more than welcome, madam.
I am so proud of the organization and your leadership, Lynn. This organization and the FWIC Board of Directors and provincial presidents have done a fantastic job this year. So congratulations to you, and I look forward to seeing what you have to do in the future.
Thank you, Margaret, for your very kind comments. So. Louise and company, the two gals that nominated said thank you for having us at the meeting. So we were trying to get the right time when they could be here. So anyway, if there aren't any more questions or comments, what we can do is we could have the meeting move to be adjourned and we'll play God Save the King. And then if you want to stay on and have a few conversations that's not recorded, we can do that as well. So I could have a motion to adjourn the meeting. Wide open.
I so move.
Angela. Seconder.
I'll
Madam
second it.
All right, everybody. So Linda James, I saw you first. Okay, very good. Thank you. I declare the AGM for 2025 to be concluded. Thank you very much for everyone for coming.